Hey guys, I hope you're all doing well. You can see behind me, it's snowing out again. So I thought today would be the perfect day to share with you some really easy, cozy, winter type crock pot recipes. So I've got 3 recipes today and all of them are dump and go. One of them requires a little bit of prep work, but once you prep the veggies ahead of time, you throw it all in the crock pot and just let it cook. So I'm gonna share with you one meat and potatoes, stick to your ribs type recipe, one soup, which is already cooking behind me, and then I also have a 3rd stew recipe that I'm going to share with you as well. So let's get started. Okay, so here's tonight's dinner. I told Derek I was going to make him a pork loin in the crock pot. So I thought they had some really great like herb and olive oil coated ones. He decided he wanted mesquite. So my plan was to put that in the crock pot with some potatoes. I'm not quite sure that those two go together, but chicken, barbecue chicken, and when you get barbecue sauce on the potatoes, that's good, right? So we're gonna try it. I think what I'm gonna do is mix together the potatoes with a little bit of olive oil and then just some seasonings. So I'm gonna go ahead, start that first, mix those together, get those in the crock pot. Then I'm just going to add the pork loin and that's it. So the pork is done. I don't cook a lot of pork, so I didn't know what temperature I should cook it to. And it looks like 145 would be the low end, and the rest of the website I found suggested around 160. So this is between about 155 and 160. You can see there's just a little bit of juice that drained off of it. So I'm gonna go ahead, pull this out, and then we'll slice it up. So I know nothing about pork. This is the first time I've ever made a pork loin in my whole life. So Derek is actually going to slice it for me.
How thin do you want the slices?
I don't know, I'm not eating it. Oh, there's Josie. Hi, Josie. Just slice up a few pieces. Frankie wants some.
Yeah, he does.
Okay, so we're just gonna serve this up with some of the potatoes and call it a day. See, Frankie's waiting. So in true Derek fashion, he's gonna try it with barbecue sauce and without.
It's good. It's really good mesquite flavor.
Is it tender?
Mm-hmm. Really good.
Better that way, apparently. Do you guys see my new fruit bowl? Sorry, next to my empty crock pot. Isn't that cute? Derek got mad because I said it was for us, and he says there's always packages arriving.
Things are never for us.
All right, well, I guess I will let him continue to eat. Hey guys, so today I'm gonna make a super simple beans and rice taco soup in the crock pot. So I'm gonna modify this recipe just slightly. This says to cook it on the stovetop, but I'm gonna need some veggie broth, some corn, some black beans, some taco seasoning, tomato sauce, salsa, and then the recipe calls for white rice, but I just happen to have some wild rice on hand, so I'm gonna use that. This literally is a dump and go recipe. I'm just gonna put all of this in the crock pot and let it cook. I think we're gonna cook this on probably high, maybe for 2-3 hours. The biggest thing is just to make sure that the rice gets cooked. Okay, the soup is done, and it actually turned out even better than I expected. At first I only used 1 cup of water instead of 2, which is what the recipe calls for, because I like my soup a little bit thicker, but the rice really soaked some of that up. So I did add another ½ cup, so I added a total of 1½ cups of water. This took about 3 hours on high until the rice was cooked through, but I already had a taste. The corn makes it nice and sweet, and it's really tasty. It's not spicy at all because I used mild salsa. So I'm gonna serve it up, and I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna put on top to finish it off. Okay, so I just put a couple tortilla chips in there, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of sour cream to it. And I wanted cilantro, but I don't have any, so I'm just gonna put some green parsley on the top, and that's it. There you have it. So today I'm going to make a pot pie soup. I'm going to make it veggie pot pie, but you could easily just add some rotisserie chicken or leftover chicken if you wanted to make it chicken pot pie. But I knew I was going to make this, so last night I already chopped up my carrots and my onion. This is about 2 pounds of potatoes. The recipe says to peel them, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to chop them. I already washed them. Then I'm going to need some spices, so garlic powder, salt, thyme, and the recipe calls for sage. I didn't have any, so I'm just going to use poultry seasoning because it contains sage, some veggie stock, and then I think I'm supposed to use 1 cup of frozen corn and 1 cup of frozen peas, I believe. I don't have them. I just have mixed veggies on hand, so that's going to work just fine. And then later we're going to make a cornstarch slurry with some cornstarch and water to thicken the soup. And we're also going to add some almond milk. So what I'm going to do now, go ahead and dice all of my potatoes, get those into the crock pot along with my other veggies, including the frozen, and my vegetable stock, and also my spices. Okay, I actually cooked this on high for about 3 hours. I didn't have enough time to let it cook on low. And my potatoes and my carrots are tender. So now what I'm going to do is I combined some cornstarch and water. I did about 3 to 4 tablespoons of each. So I'm just going to dump that in, give it a stir. And then I'm gonna cover this and cook this for another 30 minutes on high, and that cornstarch should really thicken up the broth. So you can see how just by adding that cornstarch, it really did thicken the broth. So it's more of like a stew now. So now I just have a ½ cup of milk that I'm gonna add in. Stir that in. And this is done. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of Parmesan cheese to it. I don't know if that sounds weird or not, but I thought it sounded good. So there you go. So this turned out really great. It was a very thick, hearty stew. And yeah, I didn't miss the meat at all. But like I said, you could definitely add in some chicken if you wanted to make this a chicken pot pie. Well, I really hope that you enjoyed today's recipes. If so, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing. I'll be back here in a couple of days with some more really easy meals for you. Bye.